Hey everyone, I just wanted to give a little rundown on our simplified SOP. I'm just going to go through step by step and give a little bit of extra explanation. Step one is to build up your system. That's every connection with an empty flask, so it's ready to pull vacuum, but there's nothing loaded yet. Step two, turn on the vacuum. Step three would be to add dry ice or turn on your immersion probe, but we're not doing a run today. And now step four is just to wait until we get a good vacuum. That's usually less than 10 millitorr on this system. Other systems may be somewhat higher. Now that we have a good vacuum, step five is to vent the system. I like to leave the pump running and just close the valve and vent from the valve up here. And step six is to load material. I actually like to load through the sight glass up here, but you can also use your sight glass however you like to load your material. Now is the time to put your material in. We still have not heated the mantle though. You do have to preheat your material in order to pour it, but the mantle is cold. Step seven is to reintroduce vacuum. In this case, it's actually really important that you barely crack the valve. You want a really restricted flow rate to start pulling vacuum. This does two things. It helps prevent foam ups, and it also gives you a lot more sensitivity onto when your decarb is done, as you'll see in later steps. If there's too much foam up, I like to open the vent valve to increase the pressure of the system and push that foam back down. You're just gonna have to watch it for a few minutes until it reaches a good equilibrium. Step eight is to finally turn on the mantle heating. I like to set it to 80°C, something warm but not very hot, so that we can jump up to where the material's at, and then also turn on the stirring is step 9. Step 10 is to ramp the temperature slowly. So we don't want to cause foam up, so we're just going to do like 2 to 5 degree increments whenever everything gets up to temperature, all the way up to 150. This is like a pretty big increase, but I like to get to 150 because that makes the decarb step go really fast and also gets out a lot of the initial terpenes and residual solvent. So if there's high residual solvent or a lot of terpenes, you may want to slow this step down. Now that we're up to a nice warm temperature and the oil is a thinner consistency, we can turn the mixing up to medium. That's step 11. And step 12 is just holding that 150 Celsius for a good 60 to 90 minutes. What your real key is not time, it's watching this vacuum gauge. You want it to get to less than 100 millitorr. Even though the vacuum's barely cracked, it's really restricted, you want all those CO2 gases to evolve and get pulled away before you proceed to the next step. That's how you know that it's decarbed. Step 13 is where we finally open up this valve all the way. When we finally open this all the way, the vacuum's gonna shoot down even further, and it's gonna jumpstart the heavier distillation products. So you are gonna immediately start seeing a temperature rise in your head temperature, and you'll start getting like a heads fraction where the heavy terpenes come out, and also you get a little bit of cannabinoids. Step 14 is a really critical step. This is where we're gonna pay really close attention to our head temperature and make sure that it never goes down. We're only gonna increase our mantle temperature by 1 or 2 degrees at a time, but it's a frequent change to keep the head temperature steady or maybe even slightly rising over the next literally 2 hours until we're completely done. And we're gonna watch that. And this is step 15, is we're gonna keep smelling the distillate that comes out. And as soon as that terpene smell goes away, that burnt rubber smell, that becomes our main body. So that's step 15, is wait for the terpene smell to go away and keep increasing that body temperature according to step 14 over and over and over again to drive the rest of the process. Step 16 is watch out for that color change, and that's switching to your tails fraction. Step 17 is continuing to ramp until you get the mantle all the way to 220. That means that you're pretty well squeezed out all your cannabinoids. That's pretty deep into a tails fraction. Save that for later, you can redistill it. But now you're basically done with your distillation, and the last step, step 18, is to let the system cool down and give it a good cleaning. You want to clean it immediately before the residue hardens in the flask. Hopefully this guides you through the SOP. If you have any questions, feel free to email us at info@beakerandwrench.